Welcome back. All right, so I don't have the kind of injury news from tonight's games that I had from last night's, but hey, maybe I'll have that tomorrow morning. The rookies and all that and things of that nature. So there is some news out of Winnipeg. Sami Niku, who has had a tough time breaking through with the Jets, and clearly there's just a breakdown in that relationship. They've put him on waivers, and the purpose is to terminate his contract. So for Sami Niku, this gets him out of Winnipeg. This means for Winnipeg, that's one issue they don't have to address again, and it gives a chance for him to go somewhere else. And I think Niku has NHL level skill. I would be perfectly happy to see any team that I root for pick up Niku and just see what he can do. So we'll see whether or not there are teams interested. The thing is, if there were teams who were really that interested, he wouldn't be on unconditional waivers for termination. He would have been traded. So there is that side of it as well. We'll see whether or not maybe he plays in Europe this year and builds up his stock and then comes back over next year. But best of wishes to him, because I think he's a decent defenseman. It's just a matter of getting the right break. Jonathan Drouin has come out now and finally addressed why he was out of the lineup for Montreal and what he was going through. That he admits he's been dealing with anxiety for many years and insomnia problems. And we've discussed Jonathan Drouin and how he has all this talent, and it just never quite has added up. That would make some sense. It would make some sense if he's dealing with a lot of anxiety and insomnia. That's going to affect his performance on the ice. So he's saying he feels well. He feels the best he's felt in a long time. He's dealing with it. And the fact that he's coming out and talking about this is good. It's always good when a player comes out and says, "Hey, so I'm dealing with some stuff," because then for other people who are dealing with some stuff, they will say, "Hey, so that's sort of what I've been dealing with too." So hopefully Drouin's okay, and for Montreal and for their fans, a healthy and motivated Jonathan Drouin would be a huge addition for them if he can get back to being the player that he has shown he can be earlier in his career. So it'll be interesting to watch and see how things go for him. I'll be rooting for him. We'll see how it goes. In Philadelphia, Samuel Mora, he doesn't get a break. He is likely to miss the start of training camp with a knee injury, and there's no timeline for how long he could be out with said knee injury, so hopefully he's okay. But again, Mora, no stranger to injury, and here's to hoping he's not on the injured list for very long. But at the very least, he's going to miss the start of training camp. Training camp's, of course, opening up this week, so right, because we've got games starting on Saturday. So, and I've got tickets to go watch the Canucks are doing their training camp here. I've got tickets to go watch one of their training camp days, so that could be kind of fun and take some pictures and stuff of that nature and post it on the channel. But yeah, so Zach Senyshyn has signed a 1-year extension with Boston, restricted free agent, so he signs a 2-way deal. Senyshyn has never reached the level that I think Boston envisioned for him when they drafted him surprisingly in the first round in 2015. I remember of the 3 picks between Zboril and DeBrusk and Senyshyn was one that raised a lot of eyebrows. I think it was like the 3rd round he was projected to go in. So, yeah, that was the one that surprised people. And we'll see whether or not he makes the Bruins this year and whether or not he comes through and plays for him. So, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on there. Out of the games tonight, the one thing that I did see in my feed, Connor Zary, he exited a rookie game, Calgary game, with an injury. We'll see whether or not that's just precautionary. We'll see if that's something more troublesome. But for Connor Zary, likely looking for a spot in the Calgary roster this year, and they could certainly use that scoring depth. So we'll see whether or not this pushes back the timeline of when he might make his debut as a Calgary Flame. And also, Steven Stamkos points something out today, that this is the first time he's felt healthy in a training camp in a while. That he feels healthy. He didn't have to do any kind of rehab during the summer, and talking about how good that makes him feel and how positive he feels going into the 2021-2022 season. So, that's a good story. We'll see how things go for Tampa, right? Because they're going for that 3rd straight Stanley Cup and all that wonderful stuff. But, yeah, so there you go. That wraps up today's video stuff. This is, of course, being posted a little bit later because there's still game stuff going on. And, of course, I was watching election results here in Canada. dating back to when I was a little kid, I just loved just the graphs and the charts and the numbers. You guys can see I love charts and graphs and numbers, so anytime there's an election, I'm glued to the screen. So yeah, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding any of the items on this board. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, and remember, start next week, there's going to be videos at night, every night, basically, because we're getting into hockey being back. And I've got a board right here. You can kind of see the corner of it. So I'm trying to figure out, like, for preview and review board, all the magnet stuff. And so some of these are magnets that my stepson Gabriel's been working on too. So yeah, getting ready for the season. There you go. I even took the ones that I used for the previews and put fresh stickers over top because they were getting kind of dinged up. So I want to make sure I've got one board for all of them, and the gold magnets are all in this one too. So yeah, I got to be ready for that because once the season starts, yeah, then things are busy. But thank you guys so much for all your support, and hey, I will talk to you again soon.